Okay, so I'm so sorry. I had some trouble with setting up the stream. Yeah. So let's get started. I will first send one message here, and we can start. So. My name is Michael. I am Replit Rep, and okay, I will show you here. So I'm a Replit Rep, and I do a lot of programming stuff, mostly in PHP and also in other languages such as Haskell and Rust. But in today's live stream, we will be focusing on learning web frameworks in depth. Last month, I did live stream where I showed the fundamental basics of how do frameworks actually work, and I showed some basics, but which are really helpful, and you have to understand them to actually be able to build applications in frameworks. But in more enterprise and real world applications, you would probably make the application more bigger, so you will split it into multiple files and stuff like that. You will use another concept which will make your app even more readable, because the application how we started it last month is can actually really simply lead to more unreadability. But let's so in today's live stream we will discuss some concepts on how to make our app more easier to read. So yeah, I won't explain everything. So if you need to need some more information, you can find it in Lemon documentation, which is right here. So we can actually start. So I will share my Replit. So yeah, and also change the background. Yeah, nice. So this is the this is better. So this is the application we've started last month. It's a simple Lemon application. It is basically a single file. It's only this file and some templates. But yeah, it's pretty much single file application. If we would start putting more routes, it will get more it will eventually be more unreadable. So what we are going to do is we are going to split our application into multiple files. So first things first is that we would want that, as I explained last month, the index.php file is the only visible file to the user from PHP files. This file will contain like the main. This file will like on this file will every request be redirected, and in this file we will have our application, which will be run. But since the visible file is in the folder public, it would mean that all the other logic would be in separated files. So we basically want to have index.php only with few code, which we won't touch again. So we are going to use thing called init.php. You can actually call it how you want, but I like to call it init.php. So we are going to create a new file called init.php, and this file will contain a bootstrapping, which means that it will load our application, and it will be some basic stuff to make our app work. So first we actually need to require Lemon. So we need some we need to require libraries. We need to work with it. So we will start with including vendor. like the autoload, which is inside vendor folder. We will use absolute path because it makes our life easier. So yeah, so we've included autoload. As we can see, we've used application.init. This isn't what we are going to use today. This is for simple applications if you don't want to deeply understand it. But we are going to make it, but it's actually kind of limiting, so we won't use it today. So we will still use the application class. We will create. Okay. We will create instance of the application, and as in the init method, we would set our directory. So because Lemon needs to know where our app is. So we will create application, and now, so yeah, we will create the application and we will return the application. And I will explain how. Now I need to get, but first I need to get rid of the old index. So I will just rename it to old index. So, and now I will create new index. And what? Okay, this is weird. Yeah, and here the only thing I will do is that I will. Okay, I need to first get the init file. So I will say application equals require and this will actually mean that it will require the init file. The init file returns our created application, and it will be returned into the variable app. And now we would just have to boot it. For this, there is the boot method. So, but that's not all. We need to capture the request. And because the thing is that Lemon, the kernel, actually does the thing that it captures a request, it makes object from it, and then puts the object into the whole app so we can work with it. And then when we boot it, it will take the request, and depending on the request, it will find the route. So we have to put the we have to add the request. How are we going to do it? Well, it's actually quite simple. I won't explain how it actually works, because for that I will have to explain or what do these two methods I'm going to write mean. I'm going to actually copy them because it's faster. But because for that I will have to explain another concept called dependency injection. But you just have to do application add request. This is the okay. I have to get the class, so it's use lemon HTTP request. I will get the request, which is by okay. So yeah, this lines may look kind of confusing, but we basically do simple stuff. We add into the application. Okay, I've copied it. I made wrong copy. So we add request into the application. Our application can work with the request, and we get the request using this capture method. We also inject application. This is method you just put there. This is so we can use validator and stuff. So the request can work with the whole application. So, and then we say the request could be accessed as request, not as the name of the class. It may seem kind of weird, because I haven't explained the main concept, but for that I may make another live stream, but not today. Today you simply just can copy this. So now we've created init file and we've put we've created init file, we've required it. So we've created application, we've put request into that application, and we've booted it. The reason why we added the request here and not in init is that so we can use init not only in web. I will explain that later. So now this is our only index, and probably this is one of the last things we would add. Okay, there are another files. There are another lines of code, but not for now. So when I run it right now, and if I made everything right, I should get 4. Okay, yeah, I'm stupid. I forget to use the class actually, because it's weird that yeah, never mind. So yeah, we just have to say that we are using Lemon application. Oh yeah, I forgot another thing. We have to do another line inside init.php, and this line is called okay, it's not actually one line, it's several lines. I'm gonna show you all of the lines. So we've created application, and now we have to load, like we have to load some stuff from Lemon. So first thing, we have to load services. These are all of the components of Lemon: routing, templating, and all of that stuff. We have to say we want to load them. Also, we have to load zests. I'm not going to explain what are zests, just put it there, and like not for now. And then we have to load error handlers. So if we get some error, they won't look like this. But now, yeah, we see not found. So yeah, this essentially is what the lifecycle init basically does. When I'm gonna show you the code of Lemon, and I'm gonna show you how actually looks the init, just to prove that what we've done is basically we've took application init and rewrited it so we have more control. But as you can see, okay, it takes parent directory. We don't have to carry about it. So, but it creates application. It loads services, loads zests, loads handlers, so loads commands. We don't need that now. And yeah, and this is shutdown function. This means that when we use init, it registers function that will be executed when our app ends. So when the app ends, we basically just this function will be called, and this function just boots it. Yeah, okay, it does some another stuff, but most importantly, it boots the application. So yeah, it's more complicated because there is a lot of another stuff, but we will work around it. So now we have problem. So we need to actually start routing. We have to like write something something usable. So we have to start defining routes. To do that, we so we have to like recommended by me is to create separated folder. This folder will be called routes, and this folder will contain all the routes where like there will be lots of files, and each of these files will contain specific group of files of rows. Sorry. So we will create simply web.php, and this will contain all of the all of our routes. So I'm gonna just put them here. Another thing is that we have to not forget about about these use statements. So, yeah, we've created roads. We will create roads only inside folder roads. And yeah, so, but to actually be able to use that roads, we have to load them. And to do that, we first have to obtain the router. So, or, you can do it much more simpler. So we simply do route file. Okay, we also have to say we are using route. So yeah, route file, and we will say the name of the file, which is routes.web. I've used the same notation of files as in templates. So you just say folder that, like, the dot will be replaced with directory separator, and it will also use the PHP suffix, so we don't have to worry about it. And now when I run it, it should work correctly, and we should be able to get, it should work actually. Okay, this is weird. Yeah, this is really weird. Oh, because it's not showing anything. That's weird. Okay, let's try to debug it. So first of all, I'm probably going to turn on the debugger. So config, it's the same, debug.debug to true. It's just the same function, load debugger, and are like error handlers. Okay, this is weird because it's not showing anything. When I remove this, what's gonna happen? Okay, this is really weird. And weirdest is that it actually doesn't even throw error. This is really weird. Because, okay, I'm gonna debug it the old way. Okay, we got an error. Nice. Okay, this is not the error I was looking for, I guess. Foo. Okay, so this function, so apparently function calls, but template doesn't render, I guess. Oh, I get it. That's because of our application, how it was designed. So, okay, okay, this is my fault. The framework works as expected, but yeah. So yeah, now the problem was that our application was rendering names if there were in session, but there were no name in session. So yeah, but yeah, it works. So now we've done this thing. So we've split all the bootstrapping into this file and roads into this file. This is great because now when we would want to create, for example, API rows, we would create a new file called api.php, which will be for API rows. Another cool thing is that all of the rows in the file are in one group. And the groups are called collections. And what is this collection? This collection is basically just group of rows with same values. In our case, all of the rows don't have like same never mind. In this case, it doesn't seem useful, but when we are working with, for example, API roads, we would do something like road file, roads API, and we would say it has a prefix called API. And what will it do is that every route inside the file, so let's create it. Every route inside the file So every route inside the file, or okay, I will return it as JSON, but every route inside the API file will have prefix called API. So in this example, like if I put foo here, and I will go to /foo. Yeah, okay, I'm stupid. I will go to API/foo. It will work. So we can say that every route inside this file will have prefix called API. Not only it saves you time to write it, it actually saves time for Lemon to find it, because when the router tries to find the route, it will check if it matches the prefix. And if we had like 500 routes, or okay, that's like 50, let's say, it will skip them. So, and actually effectively skip them. So this means, and if never mind. If we had 50 API rows and we send requests to not API road, it will skip them and not try to find API road. So it's actually really nice performance thing. So these are collections. We can create collections like by hand. So if I would, for example, want to have roads that will like be web, but it will be, let's say, 5 roads, or like 2 roads that will have some same values. I don't want to create file for it. I want to create collection. I can do that. I will just do road collection. And now I just have to put their function, and every route I will create inside of this function will be part of this collection. And it's the same collection as I worked with the file. Like it's the same as the file collection, so it's basically collection inside collection. So I can still use some prefix. For example, if I would want to put all of my authentication rows, I can do that. So let's say we want our authentication rows to be in this file, or in this collection. Okay, what have I done? Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna just tab it. So yeah, now I have collection of routes, which basically are all authentication routes, and it works the same. Like if I would go to auth/login, it will put me into login. And I have put all of the roads into one group collection. So yeah, so these are collections. They save us time and the router time. Nice. So now I think we won't need alt index. But still, we've at this point just moved it. So okay, we have routes in multiple files, but still we defined road with the logic. So like here it's about 81 lines, which is still pretty big number. So another thing is, like very common, is to create something called controllers. And this is to split the logic from the route. So we will just create route, and here not putting function but controller. What is controller? Controller is basically just class that holds all of the functions. So instead of writing functions, we will just write name of the controller, and Lemon will work with it. So we create a new folder called app. This folder app will contain controllers and other stuff. So we create app, and inside we will create folder controllers. And yeah, every folder inside folder app will use Pascal case, which means that it will start with big with capital number, a letter. And yeah, another thing is that we have to load everything inside the controllers folder or inside the app folder, and we can use Composer for it, because Composer allow us to automatically load classes. Yeah, folder app folder app will contain only classes, so Composer can load it for us, and we don't have to worry about it. So simply, what we have to do is to put this inside, and this will basically mean that we want to autoload by PSR4 namespace app in folder source, or we can, in our case, we name it app. So yeah, now we create controller. So let's create home controller.php. So, and here we have to create class. So, and the class should have namespace which matches the path. So it's app controllers, because we are in folder app controllers. We have to do it only inside folder app. This will mean that we can have, for example, more classes that are named home, and we don't have to and if we would want to use home from this folder and this folder, we would use namespaces. Namespaces just allow us to have multiple classes of the same name. So yeah, if you are using some editor which supports automatic classes creation, it will automatically put the namespace in there. Yeah, and also we have to do one thing. We have to open a shell and write composer dump autoload. Yeah, here. Okay, I think I have some error inside composer JSON. Yeah, I forgot to put comma here. Now it should work. It doesn't. What's wrong? Yeah, and okay, and I have trailing comma here, but yeah, it works. So we just have to write composer dump autoload. This will create autoloader, which will automatically load the classes for us. So sorry, and now let's start writing our controller. Let's name it home because we are in file home, and here we create method called handle. And this method will basically do logic of our slash route. So we just simply copy and paste it. And fix our indentation. Also, we have to not forget about use lemon session. I think I've made it wrong, so okay. And yeah, and now instead of putting here function, we simply go and say use lemon slash oh no, use app controllers home. And now we just do home class. Weird. Okay, and let me just quickly update lemon. Okay, we have lemon 10, 310. Okay, weird. Okay, probably have some weird error here. Okay, I forget about one thing, that when we are using the controller, we have to put it like this. So we say home class and then put handle here. If I made it correctly. Okay. Okay, I've messed up with. Nice, this should actually work. Yes, nice. So now we've simply moved our logic into controller. Now we can do the same thing with all the authentication routes. So another thing, last thing today probably, are middlewares. Middlewares are simply just classes which contains methods that will be called before we send response. So it works like this. For example, when we go to route slash, the handle method will be called, and then there are namespaces in PHP, and actually the cool thing is that Composer, which is PHP package manager, allows us to automatically load all the files for us thanks to namespaces. So we simply say where like namespace matches the file path. So yeah, there are namespaces in PHP. So, but they have weirder syntax in Java or C#. You would have a dot, but in PHP we have backslash. I think it looks prettier, but never mind. So when this method gets called, after this method, there will be called all the middlewares. And if one of the middlewares returns another response, the response will be returned instead of the response of the route. This means that middlewares are basically just functions that are executed before the response is sent. So let's create a simple middleware that will check if our user is authenticated. So middlewares are usually located in folder middleware, in folder app, like in middlewares, yeah, like this. So, and we create auth middleware, and this middleware will contain two main methods. So we simply namespace app middlewares, and let's go. So class auth. And the cool thing, as I said, namespaces are in PHP. So if we had control that will be called auth, it will work because like the actual name of this class is not auth, it's app slash namespace sorry, app slash middleware slash auth. So we can, so yeah, namespaces actually prevents colliding of classes. So you create a method called only authenticated, which if session okay, I think I would have to report on Replit that there is no autocompletion for PHP, but never mind. If session has name, okay, I forgot how does the session work. So yeah, okay. So if session doesn't have name, so if session has with not, so like if session doesn't have name, we would return redirect to slash to login. So okay, I'll login. So yeah, so this is basic middleware which lets only authenticated users. Now when we go to routes, we simply use a method called middleware, use app middlewares auth, simply do auth class. Okay, yeah, sorry, is authenticated. Yeah, so we simply just register the middleware. This means that when we go to slash, this function will be called, and after that, this method is authenticated will be called, and if it returns the redirect, it will redirect. Otherwise, it will use output of this function, which is template. So because I'm not logged, when I go to slash, okay. Okay, maybe. Okay, yeah, I had typo here. But yeah, when I try to go to slash, it will automatically redirect me to login. I don't remember my login credentials, but I guess we've implemented. Okay, yeah, we implement register. So yeah. Yeah, I know. Sorry. Dot notation in like in JavaScript, if you would do something like a route route middleware. In PHP, it's arrow. It's the same thing. It's just different syntax because dot was already occupied. So yeah, there's another weird thing. Validator doesn't work, and I have no idea why. Okay, there's some weird error going on. Okay, second. Okay, I get some weird error going on. Maybe it's because I've loaded the services wrongly. I have no idea. Okay, I have no idea why it doesn't work. A login has some trouble. It's weird. It's weird because I okay, there is some weird error going around, and yeah, it's weird because it worked. Okay, I have typo in here, but now it should work if I resend the request. Yeah, I'm in. So yeah. Also, what you essentially do is you create another middleware or like another middleware function, and this is only guests. And this function will basically just let only guests. So if it won't have name, it will return the use. If it will have name, it will return to user to slash. So this means that if the user will be registered, it won't let them through. This is really handy for example, for like authentication, because you don't want authenticated users to go to authentication. And we can put middlewares on collection. So we do just middleware, and we simply do of class only guests. Sorry. And as you can see, if I now try to go to of login, it won't let me through. So yeah, so we've simply made our app more split. And I haven't explained what does this all mean. What does it mean load services? What does this do? And other stuff. All of this is documented in Lemon documentation. I will resend it. And if you're interested in, you can read it. And yeah, I think this will be it for today. So goodbye and have fun.